Hey, what is going on, guys? It is AmazingRussian here, bringing my very first Advanced Warfare video, and today we're going to be talking about 4 tips to help you guys get better at Advanced Warfare. Now, these tips are pretty general and apply not only to Advanced Warfare, but really any Call of Duty that came out in the past, or likely any Call of Duty that will come out in the future. Today, we're not going to be talking about general weapon setups, or perk setups, or killstreak setups. It's just going to be kind of general ideas that you can apply to your game that are going to help you out. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. The very first tip that I have for you guys is to use the best weapon or the best weapon variant that you can. Now this sounds pretty silly at first because you guys are probably thinking, AmazingRussian, of course we gotta use the best weapon. We all know that. But what's not so simple is knowing what the best weapon or the best weapon variant is. For those of you guys that don't know, the in-game stat bars that you see in Advanced Warfare completely lie to you. You could have a variant and it says it has decreased mobility, but you still run at the same speed because decreased mobility actually does not affect your speed at all. So, how do you know what the best weapons and variants are? How do you find out the real statistics and real stats of these guns? And the way to do that is there's a full published spreadsheet of all stats for all weapons and all variants. Now, this spreadsheet is pulled straight from the game code of Advanced Warfare. Of Advanced Warfare, and so they are all completely accurate and on point. Whatever it says in the spreadsheet is what you are going to experience and feel in game. So definitely check that out, guys. That is really important. I use that all the time when I pick up a new gun, when I'm trying to decide what variant to use. And it might surprise you guys, because a lot of the times the best variants for some guns are, either enlisted or professional, and not the elites, which is what a lot of people think. Now, moving on, the second tip I have for you guys is to work on your map awareness. You should be staring at your map almost constantly the entire game. Obviously, you don't stare at it non-stop the entire game, but anytime there's no action or anytime you're catching a breather, you really should be glancing up at your map. Now, what should you be looking for when you look at your map? There's a couple things. First off, you want to look for enemy movement. So if you have a UAV, obviously look for the red UAVs, little circles on the map. But if they're shooting, you gotta look for their shooting. And if they're obviously, exo jumping around without blast suppressor, keep track of that. But not only do you keep track of enemy movement, you want to look on your minimap where your teammates are. And this is really important, because sometimes you don't have a UAV up, the enemies are using suppressed weapons, they all have blast suppressor on, so you cannot tell where they are. The only way at this point to get an idea of where the enemies might be is to look at the minimap and look where your teammates are and realize that the enemies probably are on the opposite side of the map. So if you're on the opposite side of the map from your teammates, you should better expect that, you're going to be surrounded by enemies, so the enemies are going to spawn somewhere around you and close to you. So yeah, guys, definitely keep track of your minimap, look at it as much as possible, work on looking at it more, even if you already look at it, and look at not only for, the little red movements of your enemies, but also where your teammates are to get a general idea of where the enemies are spawning. Third tip for you guys is to play to your strengths, and this is really important because every player is different and everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. For example, you guys probably know TBNR Frags. That guy has insane aim, right? He can flip around 180 and lock onto you no problem. If you can do that, that is amazing, and if you can do that, you should probably use something like an SMG or Russian class and just get into your opponent's faces non-stop, because you're going to win every gunfight if you have that good of aim. For me personally, I don't have that good of aim. I oftentimes have to strafe left and right. I like to use stock a lot so I can strafe left and right to adjust my aim, because I don't always instantly lock on right on the enemy. I'm usually a little left or right of them. And my strength is more like the more slower, kind of controlled, methodical style of gameplay, and so I use weapons and perks and kill streaks to complement that. I'm not gonna go too much into what that means, but if you're really good aim and you can rush into the enemy spawn and kill them all, use an SMG. If you gotta stay back, use an LMG or an AR. So definitely play to your strengths. Now, the fourth and final tip, and it kind of wraps everything that I've been talking about all together, is to control your engagements. And if you apply the previous 3 tips that I've talked about, you can do this a lot easier. Now, what do I mean by control your engagements? Control your engagements, really, there's multiple elements to it, but what I really mean is to see the enemy before they see you, or to move around the map in such a way that even if you see an enemy at the same time, you have more cover than them. You can see their whole body, but they can only see, for example, your torso and your neck, or your torso and your head. Another example of controlling your engagements is pre-aiming corners or pre-aiming around a corner. So a lot of times when you come around a corner and an enemy's looking at it, if you're not pre-aiming, you don't have time to aim in because you instantly die. Especially in Advanced Warfare, you're dead in 3 or 4 bullets. So you have to be pre-aiming known spots. You have to know the spots where enemies are going to be. Use map awareness to have a sense of where the enemies might be, what area of the map. And when you start going in that area of the map, you need to be pretty much anticipating the enemies and ready to aim around a corner or in a doorway or into a building or whatever you may be. And so yeah, guys, those are my 4 main tips. If you apply them, I can guarantee you'll start getting a better KD and better scores in Advanced Warfare. So quickly to summarize, use the best weapon and weapon variant. I will link the spreadsheet in the description of this video that has all the stats, so use it. Map awareness is key. Look at the map. Even if you already look at it more. Third of all, play to your strengths. Whatever you're good at, do that. If you have good aim, rush. If you don't have that good aim, you might want to sit back. Finally, control your engagements, guys. Make sure you set them up in such a way that you are more likely to kill your opponent than they are to kill you. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. On the screen right now is a video of me going crazy in Black Ops 2, so check it out. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and click that like button. If you want to see more, subscribe. Peace!